That's
Bing,
what they.
bing.
You don't know what the fuck they.
And we are live.
Bing, bing.
And we are live.
What?
Oh,
Oh,
we live.
We
It's
got a
not
new
coming,
intro.
David.
Let's go.
It's not coming, David.
Yeah.
And then I forgot how to.
Okay, I better put this on the other screen. Just a second. Much better. Much bigger. There
I
you
was
go.
walking around the block and I had my my iPhone connected to the StreamYard stuff.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good day. It's a pretty nice day. I wish y'all could have seen it.
How's the weather? Still snowy or?
So over here in Texas, it's hitting us with cool every once in a while. So this week we've had a little bit of coolness. So it's a little cool at night, and then the sun comes out, and we've got a little bit of cloud cover every day. So
I need some more accurate numbers with the little bit of cool, because little bit of cool over here, and most of the Australians are dead.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
So is it below
relate it to
freezing?
Celsius,
is it like below
but
freezing?
No, heck no.
Is it like below freezing? Okay.
It's double the
See, that's-
temperature.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like it gets down to 60 at night, which is completely comfortable to our
that's very
northerners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is 60?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, I wish I could translate that
degrees?
stuff.
Well, 100 is like, I think 100 is too much for like fever, isn't it? Like dangerous to be like 100
Yeah, that's
degrees
over
Fahrenheit.
40.
Yeah, it's right
40
over fever.
Celsius.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 60 is, I don't know. And
So 100 is
what
fever.
happens?
Fever is 39. So that would be 39, 40 degrees then? Celsius? 100?
100
No,
degrees, yeah, but 60, yeah, but that is weird. Like, what was the 0 point? I don't get it. Like with Fahrenheit, what was the
32.
sort of, why did
32.
he put?
Yeah.
Why did he put the 0 where he put it? Was there a reason for it?
It's been a long time since I've studied that. Why facing reality? The man who has all the answers to our
no
deception.
idea. I have no idea. All I know is that it makes no sense to still be using the empirical system. Imperial system. It's
It
just
has
so.
it has its it has its points. Like when you're building stuff, the quarters and the 8s and the 16ths and those, they're really easy to divide, much quicker than just your regular millimeters.
Really?
So at times,
yeah,
but you just have to get used to
used to, yeah.
using the yeah.
But why, as soon as you start getting into engineering, they all switch to the other system?
Because it's more accurate. It's sort of more accurate.
I rest my case.
Yeah. But then
So-
again, like if you have like
Why
a
does this look like
certain
shit?
measurement,
It doesn't.
that looks
I
that
see-
looks pretty fine. But
I see white background. So there was a
Was it
PNG
supposed
in
to
there
be
that should
one
be
of
all
those-
right.
So should it be like a see-through?
Yeah, like the bottom one is. So we could replace it, definitely.
Yeah.
Y'all want some?
I don't
y'all
think
want
it's-
some red letters. It's got to say hex somewhere.
Red
right?
letters.
I downloaded the wrong image.
What it is it needs to be like the size of the screen and in PNG format, and then have transparency like the one down in the bottom corner.
Now I know what you.
You know, and then
Yeah.
it's one of the settings we place, I believe, in StreamYard. I'll work on that, Duraj. What's up, Paul Sachs?
It
What's
looks
up,
What's
fine.
up, everybody?
Crypto
It's
Truth, Red Squirrel.
it's not in front of your face, so that's all right.
Oh yeah, I got so
At
much
least we
room
can
to
see
move
your
around these
face.
days.
And
Just
it
let me
Yeah,
blends
that
in
looks
with
like
the white
closer.
background. So okay.
You look like you should be doing some aerobics or something.
He's still a random Indian dude.
Like-
Yeah, I would love to do the workout challenge right here.
You should really.
Let's get a little setup right here.
You should-
Little gym.
Why not? You got the
Yeah.
room.
Yeah, totally.
You could do like push-ups for 30 minutes and stream. Let's do some
On
hex
the bar
push-ups and
top.
sit-ups and then just like exercise a bit.
Because we don't give a fuck.
That's
Exactly.
this is exactly when fucking wrists break. Come on, man, be
Oh
careful.
boy.
Come on, dude. You haven't been awake
I'll
yet
count.
enough.
Look
No,
at
just
it.
go ahead and stream.
Dude's fucking strong. Dude's fucking strong, man. What are you? You're the Hulk.
He's
I
been
Robocop.
doing
I couldn't do it. Yeah, he's half man, half machine, half his dead grandma.
Give me your address. I'll send you mail.
Who? Me? You have my address.
Yeah, can't give it
Duraj,
twice.
what are we talking about
He's
today?
been doing convergent conditioning.
A little
for a
bit.
long
I've been
time.
listening to
Yeah, look
Axis
at him, man.
Alive and Beard's stream from a few days ago. I
Yeah.
had it at
Yeah.
1.5 speed. Now,
Yeah.
that's a great direction for the Hex community.
Oh yeah, the guys were
They were on
going
it.
in deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it. Oh, Belly the Hexagon is here. Hey man, Vibra Finance CEO,
So,
Mr.
Vibra,
Good to see
Belly.
you.
Yeah.
What up, buddy?
Hexaner, Paul Sachs, Paul Sex, man.
I
it
got
took
some
me a
fresh
while,
raw
but
milk.
once I got it, fresh what?
What?
Fresh raw milk.
Raw.
From cow?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
From where?
I live in
Please?
a farm village, so it's only farms around me. So I can literally go to the
That's so
farm shop
cool.
and get fresh raw
How,
milk.
how have
You able to do
so
some
what was the
walkthroughs?
deal with the farms around you? Are they
I could do a
taking
walkthrough.
Yeah,
Film
we
it.
want walkthrough.
Is the-
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do it.
obviously yes.
Yeah.
I could do
But
it.
you need to tell
Especially
us,
during
are there-
stream.
is the government taking over the farms around you?
Yeah. And they are not allowed, they don't have it in the shop. I literally have to go to the counter and ask for raw milk
Yeah.
because we're not allowed to do
Yeah.
raw milk. It's
Obviously,
so annoying.
obviously, it's way too dangerous for
Yeah, that's
regular
way
people
too
to drink
dangerous for
drink milk. Just
Around
regular
here,
milk. How dare
we
you?
sell goat milk to dogs only. So only if you have a dog can you buy it from the goat farmers.
That's insane.
That is stupid. What about goat cheese? That's for cats.
That's fine.
I haven't visited the farmers market in a while, so I'm not sure what's available. But we've
I
got
got
3
dairy
farmers
farms
markets.
right next to me. Huh?
We've got 3
Okay.
farmers markets that are set up with tents in parking lots throughout the week. So there's a Saturday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I think.
We have
I'll
this
do
really
something.
interesting.
Go ahead.
We have this interesting farmers market thing over here where the farmers put up their produce on Facebook and then they pre-sell it, and the customer pays in advance, and then comes with the receipt to the like the pickup area,
Awesome.
and all the farmers are there for like 2 hours with their vans.
Yes.
With the sliding door open, and they just check what's your
Yes.
number. Oh, this is your box. There you go. Get the fuck out. And then
'Cause
everybody just
The issue
comes in
is
and leaves.
farmers
You don't
go
have to
to a
mess with
farmer's
money.
market not knowing what they're going to sell, and they sit there all freaking day instead of being back at their
Yeah.
farm paying attention to what's going on their farm during the day. And quite
Yeah.
possibly they could, if they're really needing funds, they could, exert themselves somewhere else instead of on their own farm 3 days out of the week. And they're transporting the produce as well, which shortens the life of the produce. So Sometimes they resort to hiring a young person to, like somebody who needs extra work to pick up their stuff and take it to farmers market and sit there for them and represent their brand. My ideas are similar to Finbear's, where it's community sustained agriculture. It's already paid for a subscription, I mean, and you just get what you get. It's whatever's available locally, with maybe a collaboration of farmers instead of just one tearing their hair out.
Yeah. I did shopping this morning. I could get it like fresh butter, kefir, milk.
What's up, Siren?
I love the farmer shop. Cheese. Oh, it's so much better than you can get in the store.
I was just thinking about the cheese thing, because I got some dairy farms pretty close, like just a few kilometers from here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking that I might go and sort of introduce myself to the farmers there and see if I could come up with some kind of a deal where I could buy like a metric fuck ton of their milk and try to make some different cheeses at home.
Oh, wow.
Like hard cheese.
Interesting.
And yeah, because
You can make
from
butter
what
as
I've
well.
seen, it's you could, but usually they separate the cream before the milk goes into the container. But we never know. Like if it's a small farm, they could sell it with the cream, which of course would be optimal.
Yes.
What's up, Moon Boys? Links in the chat if anybody wants to join. So I made some progress on the Bitcoiners in Austin. I've been showing up.
Oh, do tell.
I've been showing up to their meetup.com virtual meetup.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed that some of these people that move out of Austin then stay in touch with the group and attend the virtual meetups. So there's a guy in Washington, a person in the Carolinas yesterday. I think there's somebody in Colorado and possibly Florida, besides Austin itself. And the group is geared towards Austin people who want Bitcoin in general. And the guy who's running the group, so he's the group organizer who pays the dues. His name's Paul, and he always allows me to come in and be a little portal on the screen. And so I've been showing my background. I've been in this space for a lot of these things. And as my name, I have davinhex.com, because Davin's my given name or whatever. And so being here throughout the bull has made it to where they've, recognized me.
You mean throughout the bear?
That's what I meant. Yeah.
You mean throughout the bear? Yeah.
And so now, later on today, Paul wants to either have a phone call or I'm trying to get him to go on Twitter Spaces with me. I think that would be really fun. But he's one of the developers, or if not, the president of Factum, Factum.com. Have y'all heard of that one?
No.
Nope.
I'm pretty sure that I did back in like 2018.
Fuck them.
What's up, Truth?
Yo, what up?
Hey, man.
What up? What up?
Oh,
You doing all right?
Man, I feel
Has that been-
blessed. I've
Yeah?
been trying to stay focused and growing. I haven't been active in the community lately because, I had a couple talks with a few different people, Echo Builder being one of them. And it just helped me to focus more on, what I need to do. And I realized I wasn't able to really make a difference with you guys like you guys are trying to make a difference. And so I wanted to get on and just say, I'm still actively in the community and I'm still really willing to help out. But I realized I was really deficient in like my financial area or even in some other aspects of my life here. And so I've been really hyper focused on that and also trying to hone in on this education and application because there's so many people even within the community, that's spreading, you know, things that necessarily shouldn't be spread. And I realized that maybe I was adding to that. And so I just want to throw that out there. I appreciate you guys' direction and your information, your candor, and your openness to willingness to learn and grow. I think it's a really good example that you guys are setting. I appreciate it.
Well, what I want to say immediately is what I think a lot of people in our community are recognizing, and it's wonderful. Hex allows us to have more freedom in life, to where with that freedom we can go and apply ourselves. And so if it is that we need to work on ourselves before it is that we then create for the world around us, so be it.
Could you mute your mic, Crypto Truth, if you're not talking? A lot of feedback.
But
Perfect. Thank you.
that's just what I wanted to say, is that
Cool.
like we can sit here and hammer away at the blockchain and what it is and what it does for us. Or we can go and stake our shit and chill and go do what it is that we have passions in life about.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, some people want to say that, oh, it's about getting in early. Well, those times are about to be done, and all of you fuckers are going to be here early. So what is your effing excuse for who you've become in the world? Like, Richard is making it to where it's easier for us. He gives people who already were set to take off the boost to take off. Turin's down there in the chat. He knows what I'm talking about. So that's what I wanted to say.
Oh, for sure. Hey, please,
and we're having all sorts of growing pains.
You had the story with dude, the Bitcoin guy. So
yeah,
so
were
he's
telling
starting the story about the Bitcoin guy.
I don't know what to call it, but he's not ignored me, and he says that he and his co-parts want to pick my brain or learn more about Hex.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
Yeah, it's
so. Do you know what I think it is?
It's the greatest news that I've had in a while. You know, by resonating here and people coming to me and asking me questions about it.
Hell yeah!
I think it is. They have been by themselves in their own dungeon, and they've been trying to poke holes in the code. They've been trying to poke holes in the game theory, and they still don't understand why it is a scam, but they feel like it has to be. So they want to pick your brain, because if they can't find a flaw within your story, they have nothing. They have to accept that it's not a scam and it's not going away.
It's almost like I'm already driving the really nice car, and I've got the car now, and people are wondering, like, where the fuck did you get that, and how can I apply it to my own life? And I got to give this guy credit. Like, he was very courteous whenever it was that the SEC subpoena letters were in our news, in our community. He was very concerned about me getting wrapped up and that sort of thing.
What did you answer to him if he asked about it? Did he ask about it, or was it just like a general being concerned about?
It was just general. And, you know, people outside of our community were also getting subpoenas. So it was well known in crypto.
It was all the easy ones. I watched the lawyer, or actually, you probably saw it. Richard shared it was like a 45-minute lecture or something, where there was a lawyer and a former cop who's now a defense lawyer or something. And they were talking about you never speak to the police, you never speak to the SEC, you never speak to the FBI without a lawyer present. Never, ever, ever. You don't say a word. And if they send you something and they want to have you come over and answer a few questions because you've not broken the law, you'll just say, I'll be happy to, once you first provide me with, what's the word? It's not community, but sort of the same
Spina.
thing. So you can't. No, you can't. So like whatever I tell
Search
you, you
warrant?
can't prosecute me for
Oh,
it.
okay.
No, not a search warrant. It's like it's sort of like a carte blanche for. You can tell us everything, but we won't sue you for whatever it is that you tell us. So if they give you that kind of a paper where they promise that whatever you say can't and won't ever be used against you, then you can talk to them. But before you get a paper like that, you never talk to the cops. Never, ever, ever, ever talk to the cops. It was
Yeah.
it was
You're
pretty
able to
clear.
just
Even the
ignore them.
policeman was like, "You no, you never talk to them."
A friend of mine was
And
actually
he's
out back at this place one time, and either two or one cops came up to him, and he was just smoking a cigarette at his door. And it was like it was either before or after me meeting him here. And the cop walked up to him and started asking him questions. And my friend, he is very slow and methodical. Like, how am I going to go about routing this conversation? And because it took him so freaking long, the cop just said, "Oh, you're not going to talk to me? Okay." And he just walked away.
See, that worked.
And then it was a great learning experience for my friend, because he was just like, "I didn't know you could do that. I had no idea." It's like, yeah, that's what they
I
talk
thought you
about
were
on the
supposed to be
internet, those
polite.
YouTube
Yeah.
And all-
shorts.
Yeah, no is an answer.
No is an answer, and then
I don't
I don't answer
discuss
questions.
Yeah.
That's
I don't-
a
I-
good one that I've seen
my,
lately.
I don't discuss my day with the police. You can say
Paul
it's
Sachs
not my
says,
habit to discuss my
just
day
say
with the
you-
police. Thank you.
Just say you want counsel present for any questions. Crypto Truth, I didn't mean for you to get knocked off. I think it's your reception, because it wasn't one of us. Diraj is also having a problem. He's in the backstage right now.
Yeah.
Issue with video.
I have a
Going
nice
forward.
onboarding story as well from a local garage.
Moon Boys,
where I
yes, my
used,
friend was white. Local
where
garage.
you use your cards and stroopwafels,
Okay.
and in the inside, I was already trying to sell Hextrum for a while, but they weren't in crypto yet. And apparently, one guy was in crypto, but only on Binance. So I said to him, "Well, if you set up a MetaMask account, I will send you $100 in Hex." And he thought I was joking, so he the same night created a MetaMask, sent me a message. I got it. I said, "Send me your contract address and I will send you the funds." So he sent me the address, sent him the funds. And the next 3 days, it was the talk of the day at lunch.
Sweet.
So the owner of the shops was constantly asking, "Why would somebody give you money?" They could not comprehend that somebody is out there that is trying to teach you
Just
something
handing out money.
and then just hand you out money. They can't comprehend it. It's so funny.
And your answer to that is it's on the other side of the banking system, right?
Yeah.
To where, like, we had to transgress this value somewhere else, and so it's actually hard to obtain.
Yeah. And then the guy said, if you have all this knowledge about how to make money and generate money, why would you teach that to everybody? Why would you give away that information? And all I said is,
That's the
what's
deal,
more
man.
fun? Yeah, what's more fun? You winning by yourself or you winning with your whole team?
Mm-hmm.
And then he got it.
Exactly.
It's way more
And-
fun
and
to have
our
people
se-
around you with the
and-
same
and-
wealth. Or at least wealth.
It's because he's thinking about it like you were like a regular trader. You have to beat the money out of some other trader's hand, and that's when it's not helpful to your cause to teach anybody else what it is that you do, because you want to have as many fish on the table as you can to get their money. but because we don't, our system doesn't necessitate anybody to suffer. We can just we can tell everybody, and nobody's any worse because of it. There's nobody like holding Bitcoin, cursing to themselves. Ah, god damn it, those hex takers ruined it for me.
Yeah. So hopefully
Well, maybe
now,
some Bitcoiners might be.
yeah, I'm at the point that I'm gonna get my car fixed there, and I will pay him in hex instead of using. That's the next step.
That's nice.
Only pay half. Only pay
Yeah.
half in hex and,
Yeah.
and half
Yeah.
with money. Because
Yeah.
just a few weeks ago, I gave €100
Mhm.
in hex to a friend of mine who staked it for 15 years. And
Yeah.
I already had to send him like 2 happy birthday messages. And he was like, what the fuck? I already had my birthday. And I was like, yeah, go and check your wallet. And he's like, it's already 3x in like a couple of weeks. And he was like,
I had
okay.
exact.
So I guess my birthday is set for a couple of more years.
Yeah. I had the same
But
thing,
he
and with
staked it for
Texan as
15.
well.
So that was a killer move. Dude staked
Yeah.
it for 15 years.
That's
Legend.
really awesome. I love it
Yeah.
how they're not concerned about today's, $100, €100. Whenever it is that we're getting actual items for our hex token in return, that actually concerns me a little bit. So I hope that that's navigated well. Because I mean, if we're up against a dip or something, like I gave one of the local black guys that I went to high school with. He goes to church. He's a rapper. He works at the tire shop or something like that. And I was trying to get into his community and elevate his mind and his ideas of blockchain. And so we met over at a Starbucks like a year and a half ago. And what I gave him went down to $10, from like 200 to 10 or 220. And so had I, of course, paid for a service with that, we would have not been on speaking terms. But I just can't wait for the day for it to rise back up above 13 cents, 16 cents, whatever. And I can say, hey, look at your wallet, see what's happened in this time period since then. I hope you still have your seed phrases.
Yeah. Do you know if he staked it?
I guarantee that he
Did
didn't.
he stake it, or
I guarantee that we met and over.
Did we lose him?
Ah, yeah. Looks like we lost
No.
him. Oh man.
Yeah, I
man.
see, but only I get like criticized for having a weak connection. That's the problem. I think StreamYard has started a new service where the guests can share screen, or rather share the video on their channel simultaneously. So could be a problem with the StreamYard servers themselves. But since Davin is away for a little while, hopefully he'll come back. Let us talk about the topic we had
Let's talk about worms, man.
Now there are a couple of things, like I did a little bit of image editing on MS Paint. Crypto, that kind of worm was called Crypto YouTube. And if you have been around, you know how these guys are. Like, didn't speak for Hex for the past 4 years, and now everybody is on the bandwagon. Hey, I'm okay with it, but
most of them will sell their bags on the way up and buy back higher later.
Yes.
But yeah, like there's that one guy,
Is fair weather.
Superman. Yeah, like fair weather
Yeah.
hexagons.
Yeah.
But that's fine. We can take all comers.
Back
But
in
yeah.
like 2 years ago when Hex was going sideways, I sold. That was the only time I sold a lot of Hex in order to attempt to like gain just a little bit in my position. I bought back higher. It was like 0.004, and I think I bought back in at 0.006 or something like that. I don't really know exactly what time period it was. It was like October.
Doesn't feel like a lot, but that's a 50% move.
Yeah.
So
33. Yeah.
And it was only a certain portion, you know, the 5% or whatever that I was
33 on the
willing
way
to
down,
play
but
around
50 on
with.
the way up.
Yeah, true. Yeah. No, you're
But
right.
yeah, I sold 100% and of that little portion, and I bought back at 150%. Yeah.
Yeah.
hey, that's why we don't trade.
Yeah, that's
But yeah,
yeah.
And that's why our cup floweth over, and that's why we stream on this channel, and we talk mainly about permaculture and pragmatic things that we can do. And one of
This is
these
my
things,
cup floweth over.
yeah.
Cup
So
floweth over time.
That's so well said, man. That's that's like biblical stuff, man. Hey, could we watch the video clip I sent you? The
Ooh, who'd you say?
yes,
one.
Diraj?
so yeah,
I
I
sent
I have it
Diraj,
ready,
yeah.
Make your point, Diraj.
and I've
You got a point.
so
Can you put it?
yeah.
Can you put it on the side like a big one, and we can be the little ones, small pictures on the side, so I can
Armchair quarterback.
talk about something while it's
Yeah, I will play it
while
at
it's
8x speed. So it's a 14-minute video. We will shrink it to 2. So we were going to talk about worms and real worms as well. So let me try and bring this up. La la la.
It's very interesting. People find it difficult to believe how quickly just regular composting worms can go through green material. It's pretty amazing. Once you have your worm compost set up, the amount of waste that they can chew through is quite astounding.
So, Paul Sachs, my advice is keep 5% of your bag liquid, stake out the rest. Make sure that you have your ladder staked out for the 15 years. Start with the longest stakes first, and then the shortest stakes, and then the medium stakes to make sure that you take care of the share rate and get the best for your buck there. And so do that stuff all on Ethereum, and you won't have any regrets on Pulse, because Pulse will be a copy, right? Don't worry about the gas fees, because it'll be so far in the future. I don't recommend doing anything less than 1.5 years on your staking in Hex. That used to be 2 years. That used to be 3 years. And then so with that 5%, degen all you want, arbitrage all you want. That won't break you. And then hopefully you participated in the sacrifices so that you would have liquidity over there on the Pulse side, so that you can move stuff around. But
I think
I would sit on your hands once it is that pulsechain comes out. Like what I do is I wait for people to make mistakes, and I learn from them. I don't want to be the first guy in to blow his load anywhere. And then as far as
there are some exceptions to that.
There are some exceptions. You want to be first. So Daraj, what did we just?
Okay, but what we saw
Should,
there,
should I?
if you can roll it again, should we roll it again, Diraj? I can give it a quick voiceover. So there's a just leave it running. There's a little bit of dirt on the right side, and then there's a cardboard and just some regular food waste on the left side. And you can see that the worms ate through the cardboard. Every now and then, somebody puts a piece of ice on top of the food waste side to keep
I
it
was gonna
moist.
say, where's the water? Okay.
Yeah, they just plop a piece of ice on top there every now and then. You
On the
see
left side.
something appear there. Yeah, there it was, and it disappeared again.
Okay.
But because this looks like a vessel that has no holes in the bottom, it probably doesn't have any issues with not enough moisture. It's more than likely that it's quite wet. What I would do if I had a, a receptacle like that is I would cut out a piece of cardboard or like an old rug or something like an old T-shirt and just wet it like soaking wet and put that on top of the waste to keep some of the moisture in. I actually used newspapers, just a thick pile of newspapers on top. But you can. I was just going through YouTube, and there's some like amazing videos about these bigger float through worm composters where you have a bigger a bigger dish, and it doesn't have a bottom as such, but there's these pipes that go from side to side, and it has like maybe an inch, an inch and a quarter between the pipes. So there's a small gap between the pipes, and when you start to fill out the dish, what you do is you put some like craft paper or newspaper at the bottom, quite thickly, like half an inch or so. So that's like the bottom, and the worms are gonna eat that as well. But because the way they eat it, it's gonna everything's gonna stay in the box, and you have to sort of scrape it out from the bottom with a scraper or something, and the top stays in place, and slowly but surely it sort of just goes down, and once what you have left in the compost, once it touches the pipes, it won't fall through, and all the worms move up to where the food is anyways, so you can scratch the bottom out from the box every now and then, and spread it in your garden or whatever, wherever you wanna put it.
Or you could flood water through it and use the tea.
Yeah, that's a good idea as well.
I believe.
But if you make it too wet, then it would run through. But in a situation like that, it's pretty dry already at the bottom, so I think it might sort of trickle down, or it's almost like dust that falls down, and so you need to have something to gather all the worm castings.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's all gonna be on the floor.
Sounds lovely.
And
you can sell
need to
those
have
worm
a-
castings at a premium.
Oh, that shit. Yeah, that sells like it costs more than cocaine, I think. I don't know.
You
I'm
could-
not in the market for cocaine, but it's so fucking expensive, man.
The darkness versus the white.
Like the Germans said, they sell it in 100-gram bags. The worm castings, like 100-gram bag of worm castings from Germany. I can get that in the stores over here in Finland. That's just community waste from some small town in Germany.
Moonboy says he had some worm juice, made holes in the box to have some overflow.
Yeah.
Yeah, HOA. What I'm trying to say with the tea is you could have a cheesecloth or a used piece of cloth of some sort and wrap up the worm castings in that and drop it in the water. Just don't have it to where it's fluoridated water, chlorinated water that then fights the microbes or whatever it is. What I wanted to say is
Or
that
if you have, if it's moist enough, it drops liquid without you giving it extra water. So you can also gather that up. The way I had it is I had two uh, boxes that stack on top of each other, and the top box doesn't let any light into the bottom box. And I drilled small holes into the top box, so the bottom box slowly filled up with a liquid. And that's like what usually is called worm tea, unless you want to make it like if you need a lot of it, the way Davin described it is a quick way to get all the juices out of the worm compost. But if you have time, you can just let it slowly drip out of the top box, and you just gather it from the bottom receptacle.
people do a thing where they aerate it and they swirl it as well to put some
Yeah,
intelligence
that's
into it
amazing.
and
Yeah, that's
really
amazing.
make the stuff grow.
Yeah,
I
you
want
can
to tell
put both.
everybody that
Go ahead.
worms multiply every I think it's 30 days or something like that. So at the beginning of you having a worm bin, you're only going to have your initial inputs, and there are certain types of worms to purchase in order to get them in your worm bin, rather than just going outside and grabbing them out of the soil. They may not be the most productive worms. So I
They're
think
actually
around here
not
it's
productive at
red
all.
wigglers. Yeah, not
Yeah,
productive at
they're
all.
the best. Yeah.
Red wigglers are the best, and so that little migration that we saw in that box from right to left is what those worms will do toward food. So you could have different containers, and as long as you allow them to migrate to the food, then you can take a container away that they used to be at. Even if that container isn't fully clean of the food, who cares? You could have it to where you've got a huge container and you go to the left, then you go to the right, then you go to the left, and they're constantly leaving their black worm droppings behind, and it looks like just it looks like clay soil that's crumbleized and stays crummy.
Uh,
Crummy is a good
yeah, it
thing.
smells like it smells like the forest floor. It's it's amazing how good it smells. If you think about all the muck you put in there, like coffee
Yeah,
grounds, potato
yeah.
peels, banana peels, and then like a week later, you put your hand in there and pick it up, and you can't see anything that you put in there. And when you smell it, it's like it's like you took a trip to the forest.
So
It smells
these
so good.
infomercials
It's
that you
weird.
might see on YouTube because you're watching stuff like this, or we're talking about stuff like this, where they've got like you know, basically what looks like a tall canister iPhone, and you put stuff in it, and it smells so good afterwards, and it takes all of your compost. Well, they're not lying. You probably have to clean out some ugly stuff every once in a while. But what I wanted to get across is that whenever you go and you put that initial amount of worms in there, those guys are going to multiply within 30 days, and they're gonna sink down to the bottom and cast their eggs and everything and sprout out of there. So they're just going to continue to multiply. So here in a year's worth of time, you're going to have so many worms in this container that you'll want to get the worms out. So you could possibly go to other containers or go to friends or sell the stuff. But you're going to be overflowing.
If
Go ahead.
if you have flower beds, if you have raised beds, man, just chuck them in there. What I've done, don't tell the missus, but what I do is if I look at the house plants over here and they look like they're a bit off, like somebody's forgot to water them, or they're sort of running a bit low on whatever it is that they need, I just drop a few composting worms just straight into the flower pot and watch them go in there. They eat everything that's dead. They chop up all the roots that the plant has already cut off from its system. There's usually if you look at any of your flower pots, the soil is horrible after a year. It's dry. It's like a big lump of roots, and you don't know like how that thing even stays alive. But once you put in just a few composting worms, they aerate that shit up. They eat all the useless stuff and turn it into fertilizer for the plant again. And all you have to do is just make sure that it stays moist enough that the plant doesn't die, but it just takes off. That's like a cheat. Don't tell anybody. It's like a cheat code. I have a really good method of getting the worms. You probably want like a pint of worms to begin with, or half a pint, like a big cup full of worms. That feels like a good amount of worms to begin with. And what I did was, my neighbor had a great compost pile in his backyard, and I went to him and I asked if I could borrow some if I could borrow some of his compost, and he was I was like, okay, sure, you can have some, and I took like a half a wheelbarrow or something like that, and I dumped it on a top that was just, I laid it where the sun was shining brightest in my yard. I put the top there and I just dumped all the compost into like a high pile, and I let the sun shine on it for a while, and then I went in and I took out maybe the first 2 inches, 3 inches from every side of the pile. I just sort of raked it down and put it aside, because all the worms already, because of the sunlight, they already had went deeper into the pile. And then you give it like 5 minutes for the sun to shine on the new smaller pile, and you take out a couple of inches again, and like slowly but surely the pile becomes smaller and smaller, and eventually you'll just have a huge nut of worms and worm eggs. If you'll pick them up pretty quickly. Worm eggs are really easy to find from a compost pile. They look like,
I don't think I've ever seen them.
they sort of look like
Are they white?
you know what
color?
like if you fry rice without cooking it first, it becomes like translucent, sort
Yeah.
of. It's not l- quite like a grain of rice. It's a bit more round, but about the same, like that sort of size usually. And you get like 2 or 3 worms out of each of the eggs. And once I started a compost for a buddy of mine, I just took some of my worm compost, and I took a small box, and I took like all the worms I could find. But what I could find easily was a shitload of worm eggs. So I just gathered all the worm eggs into the small container I had. It was pretty easy. I just took it with me and dropped it at my friend's place. And I think he's still rocking with his compost.
And if anybody wants like
So
just a beginner's guide, grab a small tote that you can close up, and you just put your stuff inside of it and put it underneath your kitchen sink or your kitchen counter, and that's all you have to do to start out.
Yeah. You need a cover, because if you're gonna forget them, and if you don't feed them and it gets too dry, they're gonna take the fuck off.
They're going to try
And then
to.
you're like, oh, okay, yeah.
They're going
And
to try to
if you
migrate.
don't have a lid on it, yeah. If you
And
don't
if you
have
have
a
the
lid
thing
on it, you
outside, they're
don't
going
know
to
where
try to
they go.
migrate out, into your lawn.
Yeah,
Definitely
or
keep
into
it in
your
the shade.
wall.
But my idea toward putting it underneath, that's interesting. My idea of putting it underneath the kitchen counter is so that the ambient temperature stays appropriate for them. no matter
Yeah,
what
and
the
it's
weather is
dark,
outside.
and that's where
Mhm.
most of the food waste is. Like,
Yeah.
isn't that where you guys put like? Do you have a what's
Everything
it
except
called?
for
One of
meat.
those garbage disposal. No meat, and if you put citrus, very
Yeah,
little at a time, like lemon peels, apple peels,
right.
or orange peels. They don't like orange peels. Apple
Otherwise,
peels are
you'd open
fine.
that up
I
and
mean, they
everything would
love
be
it. They love it.
moldy.
Yeah, and no dairy, no meat.
Right.
I wouldn't put in stuff like gravy, but they eat porridge, they eat potato peels. Like I said, any kind of greens you want to put in there, they'll eat all of it. And one funny thing is, like, it is such an awesome growth media that once I just dumped a huge load of potato peels on top of my worm compost, and I just spread it around. And I didn't. I forgot to cover it for like maybe a week or something. And those small slivers of the potato peel started to grow sprouts. I've never seen that. Like, I know you can start a potato from like a half a potato or a quarter of a potato if. What are you doing, man? You're
I'm
working
doing
out.
push-ups. Yeah, push-ups.
We're working out with Davin.
If
So,
if
like,
you
I
do
knew
it
that
at
you can
that
get a
little
potato to.
incline, then it corrects your posture. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
and it
totally,
affects different
I'm blown
muscles.
by it too. You must have had one of those little nubs, one of those little nipples
No,
that are
no,
on the
no.
potato
It
skin.
didn't have any. No, they were perfect, like flawless potatoes when I put them in there. But because I think it's just so optimal for most of the plants. And if you leave it uncovered and you put in stuff like tomatoes and stuff, you're gonna get tomatoes sprouting out of it because they just wanna. If if they get light and you forget to cover the top, you're gonna everything's gonna try to sprout in it.
I think that I've done like onions or garlic or something like that, even though they don't particularly like that. They've eaten all around it, and all that's left is, the green sprout ready to be planted somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's pretty amazing. What I did when my kids were smaller, when they were in daycare, is I told the daycare ladies that maybe we should put like a worm compost for the kids so they can see what happens in nature when leaves fall from the trees, and they need to know how how we get dirt and stuff. And everybody thought it was a great idea. So what they did was they found an old aquarium or something, and I gave them like quick instructions: find some cardboard for the to the like bottom floor, little bit of dirt on top of the cardboard, uh, make it wet enough so that everything is moist and sort of soft. And then the kids started to collect their food waste, like all the stuff they didn't want to eat. Like everybody had like a half a potato or something for the worms, or apple cores and stuff. And they were absolutely mesmerized by what's going on. What we did was we covered the sides of the aquarium with this quilt, or like a fabric, so that it stayed dark. But every day they still gathered around and they took the quilt down, and they wanted to see what the worms had done over the like during the day and the previous night, and they were always like amazed. There were so many kids who came to me like with their eyes glowing. They were explaining, "Oh man, I gave it 2 apple cores and a banana peel yesterday, and they're all gone, man. Oh, it's amazing." It was like
It's
super.
funny because it looks like
Yeah.
a black hole to them.
Yeah, and well, that led to quite a few things. Then they had raised beds in their backyard, and I had them grow peas and carrots and potatoes and whatever, like all kinds of stuff. That's when I noticed that if it's difficult to get your kids to taste new foods, uh, try to have them grow some, because if you grow your own peas, it's pretty cool to see what they taste like, because you did all the work, and it's like something to be proud of. Nobody's forcing you, but since you already grew the thing, maybe you should taste it, and everybody's like, okay, that sounds like a freaking great idea.
Yeah.
D-Rush,
Different
did you
colors
have
would
a
be fun
question?
too.
Not a question, just that's what I wanted to say. Like a small compost, worm compost bin under your kitchen sink is the minimum you can do, and I highly recommend it, especially if you have kids. It not only teaches them about science, but it also like takes away the fear of worms and living creepy crawlies out of the picture. So twofold or multiple fold advantage to it. And
Yeah.
yeah, if there are too many worms, hey, you might think of buying a chicken to feed them to the chicken, and you'll get
Yeah.
eggs. You know, one step at a time, right? Uh, that's how we grow. Uh, and the other thing, like I wanted to kind of point out, it isn't it amazing that the worms recognize what is living and what is dead. Like they leave the roots or even the shoots
Yeah.
which are
Yeah, the living roots.
living.
They don't touch the living roots at all.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's
And
how life is.
they only have us. I think I'm not. It's a few years since I last checked it, but I think they only have like a small area in their forehead which is like sensitive to light, but still it's sensitive enough that if you pick one up from the dirt and put it in your hand, and dude, if you got one of those red wigglers, it wants to take off immediately. It's like, I'm getting the fuck out. It's trying to find some place where it's dark immediately. Like it knows it's in a bad place, even without any proper eyes.
Yeah.
It's almost like the other insects that recognize a plant's body reflecting in the sun and recognizes the light energy that's being reflected off. And so it knows which ones are, which ones to prey upon.
Yeah, that's
Speaking
what
of
I've
life and
heard.
death recognition.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
man. This biology thing is something that you can really sink your teeth into. There's so much interesting stuff. I can't wait to get,
Yeah.
like, once you come over here, dude. I got some lumber. Uh, like I got quite
You
a
put me to
bit of
work.
lumber. No, I was thinking that you could be like designing, and I could be like the sort of the production end, and you can be like the guy with the thinking hat on.
All right.
But I'm thinking like
Share it with everybody here.
raised beds, and we could maybe build like a worm composter that we could use all year around. I could keep it in the garage.
And the smallest suggestion of like composting would be just to make a trench and go and apply your food scraps and cover up with the loose soil. And then the next day, right next to it, cover up with the loose soil and just continue to implement that sort of thing in your garden. That's the easiest way of doing things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So coming up on this weekend, I've been creating some meetups for the Texas group, and so I just thought that we could spread the love around Texas. And so this place is kind of like in a northeastern portion. It's called Palestine, Texas, not to be confused with East Palestine, Ohio, that's having problems right now because of the spill and the idiots cleaning it up
Yeah.
in the certain ways that they wanted to with the chemicals that were approved 12 days before. So I just put this poster together a while back, throwing it out there to see who wants to meet over in East Texas, and a few guys have chimed in. So this isn't far from Dallas. It's not that far from Houston either. And then, of course, it's in East Texas with some smaller towns. So hopefully some Hexicans will be out there and want to come out and meet us. And then it's like 2.5 hours from Austin. So I think the plan right now is SJ is going to come to my town and hop in my car, and we're going to head out there. And also I
Dude.
wanted, yo, what's up?
What's the deal with the fucking vaccine? Because I hear people get in there without any vaccines or passports, but then some other people say they can't even book a flight without having. Is that just
I really don't
a
know.
mad?
I really
Because
don't know.
I want to
but
come over, man. I
Yeah.
really want to come over, but I'm not taking part in any stupid human experiments. At this stage, it feels a bit silly to demand that from anybody.
Look into it right now. See if this thing's a possibility
All right, I'm gonna look into
this
it, man.
weekend.
Is it is it
Yeah,
the next weekend?
it's literally Saturday.
I think it's
so,
gonna
few
be
days.
like slightly on the steep side for my wallet. I think if I need to find a ticket in 3 days, it's gonna be
Right.
an arm and a leg.
We need at least a month in advance for the arm and the leg.
Yeah, well, a week at least.
So
But
I
if you're
think whenever
streaming,
it is the government creates chaos and then has it set up the certain way that it is right now, they don't want any more freedom-minded people to come to the United States. They just want people who have complete chaos in their life right now or are set to destroy. You know, like I don't think they want
Yeah.
a consortium. A consortium is my word this week of freedom-minded people in one place in the United States of all
yeah,
places.
yeah, that because you guys got all the guns and your stupid ideas about freedom
We
is
somehow
really
need to suffocate, freedom here.
yeah,
And
that's
allowing
the
more people to come here without a vaccine? Hell no, right?
yeah. Well, I could just walk from Mexico and they wouldn't ask if I have a vaccine, and they'd probably just start paying for everything. All I'd have to
Totally.
do is
All
I
you have to
speak
do is come
speak broken English and rip my passport in Mexico.
There's some really nice areas in Mexico that I wish were a part of Texas. And I would be totally down to meet some of you guys down in these northern parts of Mexico. I think that would be a fun thing here in our future.
Yeah.
I also wanted to bring to y'all's attention, I've started recording on Tuesday nights this Just the Tip Hex News. And so I have back-to-back speakers that I've lined up, like friends of mine they're Hexicans, of course, but through Twitter. The guys who are typically in Twitter Spaces, I've kind of cherry-picked a few of them, and they've been kind enough to to make themselves available on Tuesday evenings. And so they've been back to back, whatever's off the top of their head, 3-minute minimum. And it's been a lot of fun. So here's the last recording from last night. This is what the face of it looks like, the thumbnail, and it's recorded on YouTube. That's what this link is. Thanks for listening to that.
Yeah. I think I watched already like half of it, but there was so much stuff coming out in the morning when I got on my phone and
Yeah.
this popped up that I have to admit, like I get distracted. Like there's so much stuff coming out from YouTube. I think at one point there was like at least 3 guys that I follow streaming at the same time as
Oh
us.
gosh. Yeah.
That's
So that's a
you
hell of a
guys know
catch-up.
what that means. That
It's
we're
two
we're
speed,
gonna
2
go
point speed.
we're gonna go so viral, man. It's not even
The
funny.
Bitcoiners are asking me for my time this evening.
Hey, if you want, like I'd
I
like
do
to,
want more people.
I
I want
could
more
chime
people
in.
on our side. Yeah.
I could chime in. Like if you're coming to the store or something, or if you're gonna meet online, which way is it gonna be? Are you gonna see him like face to face, or
I'm asking him to come to Twitter Spaces right now, because I think that before talking to you right now, that would be the best way for me to have other people's perspectives of
Yeah.
finance and blockchain.
Yeah.
I would
Obviously
love
it
for
doesn't
him.
have to be me. It
I
can
would
be
love for
like
him to come onto Hex Futures channel. That's my other YouTube channel. But I don't want to put him on the on the spot or anything like that. Like,
we
hey,
could
this is a developer
do
who
it.
is now
Yeah.
asking questions about Hex.
Yeah,
So
we could do it off stream.
instead of just
You
doing it,
know,
I think that I was just going to record it just like if it was that he came into Twitter Spaces, then I think that I would ask him if I could record it just like I did this just the Tip Hex News, and then have it on the Hex Futures YouTube channel just so that everybody could get a gist of what's going on. But what we need to do as Hexicans is raise that level of communicating with people out on the street or people in blockchain. And that's why I've been doing what I can and creating the mailing type stuff straight to your door. Give me any address, whether it's business or PO box or whatever, so that I can get you marketing tools so that you can start participating in this way. What were you going to say, Jirash?
I would suggest the best thing to do is to invite him to our Telegram group, the Hex Guild, t.me/Hex Foodies, and we can have a video chat. We can record it if he wants, like if he is comfortable with it. But Twitter,
I think it is with the guests who are not Hexicans yet. What I've sort of like in particular, like if you watch RG3 talk to all the big shots, like he had Catherine Austin Fitz and who was the guy who he was talking to, Manorino just the other day. You don't want to get them into a situation where they're being shilled at while you're sort of explaining the thing, and they probably don't want to be in that position that they're like on a live stream or something actively being shilled at, because that just makes them like a tool for our shilling, you know. So I would much rather, and I think he'd probably want to like have a discussion like privately and pick your brains and stuff, and then come up to his own conclusions from there. I would imagine, like I would want to be treated that way if I didn't know about Hex. I would feel really uncomfortable coming on stream to hear about something, because it's always
Yeah.
like the setting is all like, imagine I wouldn't know about Hex. Now it's already like the 3 of you against me. It's very difficult for me to completely disagree with you about something for like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah, I know
but
Daraj
that
was
is how
kidding
we,
about,
but
getting
that
him to
is how
come.
we brainwash people into joining.
That's how the cult works, man. Shut up. No, I think I know you, and we could do it in private. On it's only like a few hundred people in the Hex Foodies Guild, and I think the highest amount of participants we've had in the voice chat is something like 8, and I wasn't even there then. when I came in, like everybody left. It was like 3 people left when I came in. But it's almost like doing it in private. But we could do it on StreamYard. We could do it on Telegram. We could, yeah, wherever. But if you need somebody like a wingman when you talk to the guy, I'd be happy to join. But I'm sure like the voices are full of good Hexicans who can answer the dude's questions. So like either way is fine by me.
I think whatever the case, I need to have a thumb on the administrative capabilities so that I can be like, hey, I'm trying to teach a new person all of these things. I mean, we're gonna go through Hex daily stats. That's gonna be the
That's a great
main
idea.
website to focus in on.
Yeah,
because this
the
guy
thing is
comes from he's a
like Belly
blockchain
the
developer.
Hexican says, I'd like to listen in. Do you know why he'd like to listen in? Because it's always interesting to hear how people onboard people or how people talk about Hex.
Who said they want to listen in?
Belly the Hexican just in the chat
Okay.
says.
Yes, and that's why I want to record it to allow people.
That's why I
more...
liked your Omegle videos, because you had to pitch it like every minute you had to pitch it, and then like block out the dicks.
I wish that no, I didn't even block them out; they were just there. I wish that more people would have followed me in that role. Just like go and do it. I showed you that this is what you'll come up against. But imagine if we hexologist-ized it. You know how hexologist says like, all right, we're gonna go raid a stream. Let's go this path, and then just like boom, cause havoc. Minus Joker joining our community.
Well, he's gone already, so that's fine.
Oh my gosh, it took forever.
But it sorted itself out.
With a lot of worms.
Yeah.
Hey.
We already went over 1 hour.
Yeah. Time
okay, so we go into Telegram chat now?
Yeah, let's.
Yeah.
Everybody who wants to have
see you guys
after
in
party.
the
Telegram chat, voice chat. T.me/hex.
All we ask,
foodies.
You need earplugs or something if you want to speak.
T.me/hex guild.
Or is it Hex Foodies? Hex Guild.
It's Hex Foodies to go to the chat, Hex Guild to go to the channel. The channel shows or it forwards everything. Besat, I saw you down there. Welcome, man.
Yeah, I know you did, Besat. I know you did. I was never a big fan. I couldn't understand it personally ever. But I don't wanna piss on a guy while he's trying. I went in the chats to give him a thumbs up for the effort, but I could never see how that could onboard anybody, like any sane person.
Right. Only a person who's like needing a mentor and going the wrong direction. Crypto Truth, I'm totally in with you on that. Hexologist used to organize that sort of thing at the end of his stream. Please suggest that to Hexologist, one of our good Hexicans.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up and meet you guys in the Hex Foodies chat.
Good seeing you, Turin. Sorry you didn't come on.
Well, he'll come on soon enough. Have you got the coyotes dead?
Yeah, did you kill those coyotes? And am I doing the outro? Facing Reality and I doing the outro?
I'm not doing the
outro.
outro.
No intros, no outros. Pure content. Which one should I play, man?
I don't know.
Peace.
Dude, I really